Black has just played d5 and he's about to open the centre and gain an advantage with his bishop pair. What's the only move for white that leads to a winning kingside attack? Pause the video and have a go. So the move is e5, sacrificing a pawn. This keeps Black's pawn centre immobile, it keeps Black's bishop locked behind the pawns. After bishop takes e5, we can gain time on the bishop will have to drop back, and then we can start advancing pawns on the king side. White is now down a pawn, but Black has no clear way to progress with his queenside attack. So we start with a mainline Sicilian, e4, c5, knight f3, d6, d4, c takes, knight f6, knight c3, and Black goes for the Rauzer, a solid mainline Sicilian. Bishop g5, e6, queen d2, the main line. We want to go f3, we want to castle queenside and then go for a kingside attack. Black will play bishop e7. His idea is to go bishop e7, bishop d7, castle, and then start advancing on the queen side. We go castles, castles, and now f3. Black goes a6. He wants to exchange off this knight and then play b5 next. An alternative plan is to go bishop d7 and play positionally, but it's a lot less ambitious. We go h4, still the main line. We support this bishop. Of course, if this knight moves and Black captures the bishop, we'll be opening the h file for our rook. Knight takes d4, queen takes d4, and now b5. King b1, this is always a good prophylactic move. Get the king off this half-open c file. Later on, this makes space for the bishop to come back and support our defense. Bishop b7, and now queen d2. I really like this move. It looks like it wastes a move because we played queen d4 back to d2, but we are making space for our knight to come back to e2 and then onto d4. Black's going to play b4, kick our knight, and then after knight d4, we'll have space to play bishop d3, supporting our king and attacking the king side. Black plays queen c7, good move, knight e2, and now here it starts to go wrong for Black. He played rook ac8. Slight inaccuracy. Better move would have been either rook fd8, aiming to play positionally with d5, or aggressively with rook fc8. The reason for this is Black's rooks belong on the A and C files. The rook on the C file supports this battery, attacking the C2 pawn, and the rook on the A file will come in handy later when he plays A4, A5, B4, advances the pawns, and then the rook will support the attack. Anyway, White played knight e4, Black then played rook fd8. Again, he's wasting too much time with the rooks. At this point, he should have played rook fe8. This supports the bishop. Then when Black plays the knight back to d7, as he will want to do because his long-term plan is to bring this knight to e5 and then on to c4, after knight d7, if we take on e7, the rook will be able to recapture on e7, and this prevents the queen becoming misplaced. Anyway, he didn't do this, he played rook fd8. It looks kind of logical, putting the rook on the same file as the queen supporting d5, but the problem with d5 is we can counter with e5. Bishop d3, and now here knight e8. Better move would have been to play a bit cleverly with queen b6. The reason for this is this knight is actually hanging. We don't want to move this bishop. This bishop's doing a fantastic job, so we could bring our bishop back to e3, why not? But then Black could just put the queen on c7. Of course, bishop g5 leads to a repetition. If we go g4, then Black can play knight d7, and we're no longer threatening to capture on e7. Additionally, this bishop just gets in the way. I mean, what's it attacking? It's not attacking anything, and it blocks our queen's entry into the king side. So it would have been better to play queen b6. Anyway, Black went knight e8, g4, and now bishop to f6. This is another inaccuracy, and you can already see the evaluation is 1.3. The best move was actually rook d7. I can appreciate a human might not want to play this kind of move, but the idea is after bishop takes, rook takes, Black's going to want to go d5, and then if we open the e file by exchanging, this rook will be very well placed. Black basically wants to exchange off as many pieces as possible, get into an endgame, and then he's got a slightly better structure. Anyway, he went bishop f6. Trouble with this is White can just drop the bishop back to support the d4 knight, and then he'll be gaining time on this bishop. Black goes d5. I think he missed White's next move. I want you to see if you can find it, because it is rather clever. The problem with taking on d5, obviously, is that you just recapture with the bishop. Black has a great position advantage. He's well poised to start attacking. White's got weaknesses in his position, so obviously he doesn't want to capture. Instead, he plays e5. This is great because it keeps black's central pawn structure immobile, keeps this bishop bad because it's locked behind its pawns, and actually, it's worth giving up a pawn to do this. After bishop takes e5, white went f4, bishop d6, and now g5, so white's gained time to advance quite a lot on the king side. He's now down a pawn. e5, f takes, bishop takes, and now another stunning pawn sacrifice, g6. He could have gone h5, okay? He could have done it. This would have been slower. This would give black time to bring his knight out to d6. He's now threatening knight c4. And of course, when black's played knight c4, we don't want to capture, give up the bishop pair and unleash this light square bishop, do we? So we'd play g6 now, knight c4. We'd have to move our queen back to c1. And now it's actually just kind of equal because black might play rook f8, bring his rooks to the f and e files. He's threatening to capture our bishop pair, and it doesn't look like our attack is really coming to anything because black's in time to defend. So white went g6, strike while the iron is hot. Knight d6. Now, you might ask, what is white's idea? If f takes g6, we have h5, opening files. We're 2 pawns down, but we're completely winning. G takes, rook takes, let's say, because we're attacking on h7, let's say black plays h6. We can go rook g1, this pawn is now pinned, so black has to go king h8. We can now start to sacrifice material with bishop takes h6. Of course, if pawn captures, this will lead to mate, so let's say king g8. We're threatening all kinds of nasty checks. If instead, back here, black went h takes g6, we have the same thing with h5. Of course, if he captures, we'll recapture with our rook, we'll double on the h file and black will get checkmated. Black can go g5, but we can just go knight f5 using this newly created hole. f6, just trying to create some kind of stable structure, but we can just sacrifice, bishop takes g5, f takes, queen takes. Our next move will be h6, we can also go rook to g1. Our bishop on d3 covers this c pawn so well, and black's attack is never going to break through. So we're winning even though we're down a piece. Black goes knight d6, g takes f7. Black would love to recapture with the knight, but unfortunately we have a fork with knight e6. So queen takes, rook hf1, gaining time on the queen, queen d7, and now knight f3. So this knight's made 4 moves so far. We're attacking the bishop, we want to play knight g5 next, and then we'll want to bring the queen into the attack with some kind of maneuver like this. Bishop f6, safeguard the bishop, knight g5, and now knight c4. This is actually the losing move of the game. And you might ask why, because it does look so natural. You know, we're forking the queen and bishop, we're threatening to take on b2. It would have been better though to just cut your losses and play bishop takes g5. H takes, d4, bishop takes, and now knight e4. This is a bit better for white, but because we're going to have to give back the bishop pair, material is actually equal because black's only giving back material that we've sacrificed anyway. This would lead to an okay endgame. The problem with knight c4 is it allows bishop takes h7, king h8, and now queen e2. We're progressing with our queen lift. Black's problem, though he is threatening to take on b2, this is just far too slow because we have 2 threats. Okay, threat number 1, queen h5, followed by bishop g6, discover check, and mate on the king side. Threat number 2, rook takes f6, an exchange sacrifice, and then after g takes f6, we'll be able to attack this pawn in many different ways and mate black. So black's forced to play queen e8, cover this h5 square, but we can go rook takes, g takes, bishop d4. We're actually sacrificing our queen because bishop takes f6 would be mate. Rook c6, only moves to defend the f pawn, but we can just go queen f2, attack it twice, and now queen f8. Bishop back to d3. Of course, we had our plan from earlier. We can still play moves like queen f5 or queen f3, bring the queen to the h file. If this queen ever reaches the h file, it's basically lights out for black. Rook d7, queen f5, rook e7. Hard to suggest anything better, really. Black is just basically waiting for the axe at this point. You can see this knight on c4 that looked so powerful earlier is basically floating because it has no targets to attack. This bishop and rook are extremely badly coordinated. We go knight h7, a very clever geometric way to put more pressure on this pawn. Bishop c8 attacking the queen, but we just go queen h5, and it's basically lights out now, because after queen h7 we have bishop g6 blocking the attack on the queen, and here black resigned the game. Our plan is to play knight g5 check next move, attack the queen. Let's say black, for argument's sake, let's say he plays bishop g4 or something. We can just capture on g4, queen e6, and now we can capture on f6. We'll end up with either checkmate or extremely large material advantage. So white wins the game. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it's inspired you to go for your own kingside attacks, and I'll see you in the next video.